Xavier, we're almost ready. Give us about 2 minutes, and we'll ask Dr. Bloom as Clerk Pro Tem to call us into order. Are we ready, Xavier? We can start. We can start now. Okay. Good evening, Westbury family. Today is the April 4th Board of Education special meeting in which we were to adopt a budget and vote on other resolution items. At this time, I'm going to ask the Clerk Pro Tem, Dr. Roger Bloom, to call the meeting to order.
Thank you, Vice President Ewing. We'll now take roll call. Vice President Floyd Ewing.
Present.
Trustee Robin Bowling.
Present.
Trustee Dr. Pless M. Dickerson.
Present.
Trustee Michelle. Trustee
Present.
Michelle Wilson.
Present.
Mr. Vice President, you have a quorum.
Thank you, Dr. Bloom. Just so you know that unfortunately, due to other prior engagements, Mr. Triano was unable to attend because of other commitments. and Mr. Quintanilla, as well as unable to attend because of other commitments. Mr. Rodney Keynes will be attending. He will be running late. And Ms. Michelle Wilson is attending via video, as she is in another location outside the area. Her location has been posted, and she's available if anyone wishes to attend with her, are available if they are at the location. At this time, we're going to ask for stand up for the Pledge of Allegiance and a moment of silent meditation. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. May be seated. Just also, I failed to mention that our district clerk is not here today due to the fact that she is working on the library vote at the Westbury Library. And the polls are open till 9 p.m. If you have not done so, please go vote. At this time, I'm going to turn things over to our superintendent of schools for a superintendent's report.
Thank you, Mr. Vice President. Good evening, community. Good evening, families. Good evening to those who are in the audience, and also to the 12 individuals who are watching. We thank you for being a part of our draft, where are we, draft 3 presentation, and it is with hope that the board will accept draft 3 as the final budget, and that will end in an adoption this evening. So I am going to ask the Assistant Superintendent for Business, Ms. Mary O'Neill, to please join me as we give a synopsis of the budget and to review what may have already been shared, but there may be individuals who are out there who are watching it for the first time, so we want to be able to give them information about the budget as well. It is important to note that after this presentation, the budget will be posted. An updated version of it will be posted on our website, so please feel free to visit www.westburyschools.org to see the budget in its entirety. Okay, Ms. O'Neill?
As Dr. Chase and Ms. O'Neill are approaching the microphone, just wanted to advise the public that it is the intention of the board to vote on the proposed budget this evening. And there will be another budget hearing on the 25th of this month. I'm sorry, May 2nd May 2nd.
At least we know the microphone is on. So for the past couple of weeks, I would even say past couple of months, Ms. O'Neill and I have been presenting to the community the 2023-2024 proposed budget. And the process goes as follows. We've met with our administrators, we've met with principals and directors to find out what it is that they need for our scholars in the upcoming year. We also met with our school board, and our school board helped us to devise what we brought to you as draft 2 of the budget. We took into consideration comment. Was offered an email address by which they can submit their questions, their comments, or even ask for clarification pertaining to our budget presentation. So, we are now at draft 4 of our budget presentation, and our last draft. And at our last draft, we presented the theme, "It Takes a Village to Raise a 21st Century Scholar." And we chose that theme because we realized that this budget had everybody in mind, all parties, all constituents who are related to, concerned about, who are involved in the everyday occurrences of the Westbury Community School District. Having a standard of excellence at our school. You're going to stay right there.
A reduction in tax levy? Don't do that to me.
It's better.
It is?
No one can hear you in this.
All right, then I'll come stand over here. So you'll notice that this is the third year in a row of a tax reduction. Since 2021, the district has reduced the tax impact to the voters by 5.34%. You'll notice that on the financial plan overview that while our budget-to-budget increase is 12.3%, the community is still seeing a 2.5% reduction in the tax levy. And I know one of the questions that came up before was how could we do this? Well, you'll also notice that there's a 32% increase in our state aid.
Mayor, can you just explain to the community what does that 13% in state aid entail? What does that mean? How much money did we actually get?
Let's go back. Now it's not letting me go back, Dr. Chase. We ended up, without doing that, We ended up getting just under $100 million in state aid. We went from 75 million to 99.6 million this year in state aid.
And that reflects what, a number in increase, that reflects how much?
24.5 million.
So a $24.5 million increase, which is why we're able to decrease the tax levy to return $2 million to the community.
Yes, as well as enhance the programs.
So we talked about the $13 million in instructional programs. I'm going to go through some of the instructional programs that we proposed through this budget. I know we've been through this before. For us to even complete the budget process. They were so excited about what this could mean for our students. We're going to explore the expansion of world languages. We're not implementing it, but we're going to do some exploration of what it will look like to bring world languages to our school district. We're going to expand STEAM learning for all scholars, not just some, but all. I had a fantastic meeting with our science specialists today. We're going to be doing some great work with STEAM. I don't want to do a spoiler alert, but some fantastic work with STEAM in the coming year. They are gearing up for some great activities, and we are working to make sure that our science specialists become STEAM certified by a nationally known university. So we're working on that initiative, and we're looking forward to what that can possibly look like for our school district. We're going to solidify learning and social studies at our elementary schools. I talked at length about that last time. We're going to continue to integrate SEL, which is an acronym for social emotional learning in our content areas, so it's not a standalone, so that it is embedded in all the work that we do here at Westbury. Continue the implementation of ARC. Professional learning communities will continue. I think at Budget 3, I talked about becoming a professional learning community model school district. Dr. Bloom is working very hard in getting that designation for our school district. And I want to thank Dr. Bloom and his team of PLC governance. We are so excited about what that means for our school district, where we will become the model for what a PLC looks like. So I thank you for leading that initiative. By the way, that was part of his dissertation. To see his dissertation come to life is pretty awesome. We're going to enlist a theater group to enhance the performing arts. How many people here, and even if you're at home, please raise your hand. I won't see you, but I just want you to raise your hand. How many people had a chance to see The Little Mermaid? Right. And 101 Dalmatians. Right. And there are more to come, right? Just imagine The kids did a phenomenal job, phenomenal. But we know that we have so much great talent in our school district, and what we'd like to do is work with our teachers who are working with our scholars and enhance that talent. I believe that in the next 3 years, we're going to have Broadway-style productions here at the school district. Look at this beautiful auditorium. Let's use it for what it's worth, right? Let's really put it to good use. We have some talented students. They had an opportunity to show us how talented they are, but we want to bring that talent out even more. You know, we are a district that's focused on the 3 A's, the academic, the arts, and the athletics, so let's do it. New sports program, speaking about the 3 A's, we want to have targeted oversight of our new sports program. I don't know if you guys had an opportunity to see our girls' flag football team. They're pretty amazing. These girls are like scoring touchdowns. They're doing their thing. And they had very little training, but they're already doing an amazing job. Intramural sports, interscholastic sports is a focus for us. We want to start with some of the athletic programs at the lower grades moving forward, but we're going to need some targeted oversight. And so what we're introducing is a director for intramural, interscholastic sports. I may have twisted that title a little bit, but we're looking for oversight in that area. And I believe that we're going to be a school district that has our farm division that will lead into our JV and varsity. I'd like to see some of our students earn scholarships for athletics. I'd like to see bringing out more of that athletic ability in our students, and I think that having a target focus will do just that. Target leadership oversight and instruction. I talked a little bit last time about the vision for curriculum and instruction. We are on the cusp of doing some world-class programs and implementing things that are just beyond belief. It's just amazing, and I hear compliments about our district all the time in the direction in which we're going. But I know that elementary has its set of needs, and so does secondary. We are requesting that we have targeted oversight at the elementary level as it relates to curriculum and instruction, and then targeted oversight at the secondary level as it relates to curriculum and instruction. Why is that important? Well, we are a district with quite a few needs. I looked at districts that are considered to be high-flying, world-class school districts, and I looked at what they're doing. And I also know that being a former assistant superintendent for curriculum and instruction, it is an impossible job for one person to have a full pre-K through 12. And I'm thinking pre-K, I'm thinking long-term, a pre-K through 12 focus. Something tends to get lost, something tends to drop. With all of the great initiatives that we have going on in our school district, I don't want to drop a plate. I want to continue and add more plates to that spinning device. And so with that, we will have someone who is responsible for all things elementary curriculum instruction and all things secondary. I think it'll help us to focus, and I believe that we're going to see an improvement in our outcomes for our scholars. Next. All right, that's you.
Okay, so this is the instructional services component of the budget, and this encompasses all of the great things that Dr. Chase just mentioned. You'll notice that in the contractual line, well, I'll start with the salaries. So your salaries are going up just under $5 million, and that's due to contractual salary obligations as well as the addition of new positions that Dr. Chase has mentioned. It also brings back 9 positions from one of the grants that is ending to for the district. You'll notice a large increase in your contractual services of 3.7. I would like to point out that 2.3 of that is a set-aside that was listed in the governor's budget for high-impact tutoring. We put it in its own code because as of this moment, we still don't really know what they want us to do with it. There is rumor that, you know, it's going to be used for anything that we want, but we don't know yet. So we've left it in its own code. Once the budget is adopted and we know more, the board may be asked to move those funds to a salary line, to a supply line. We just don't know yet. You'll see another large increase is our BOCES services of 3.1, and this is really due to increased participation by our students in BOCES program. That includes our students with special needs. Overall, as mentioned earlier, the instructional services component of the budget increases just under $13 million, or 12.8%. The second part of is the 8.6 for support services, and support services really covers anything that's not instruction related. Things that we're looking to do in this area, we're looking to add 2 additional custodian and maintenance positions. We're looking to funds were allocated to support building improvements district-wide. So when you do look at that line-by-line budget, you're going to see large numbers jump out, and that's because it wasn't budgeted in that way before. But we are allocating money for each of the buildings. It could be to remodel some of the stage, it could be for floors, it could be for bathroom remodeling. It really will depend on the needs of the building and the requests. We've increased funding for safety and security. We're looking to add 3 additional security positions, as well as increasing 6 of our current security staff that are 10-month positions to 12-month positions. We are also, we've added funding for additional cameras, new uniforms for facility staff and for security staff, as well as you'll see a referendum changing our walking distance, which we'll talk about a little bit later. We're also looking to add the GPS bus pass card reader on all of our buses, as well as implementing some paperless timesheets, which will save an enormous amount of time for not only my office, but the building principals, the superintendent. It does. So when we talk about the proposition, changing our walking distance requires a proposition that will be voted on separately by the voters. Right now, you have, it's kind of split. So up to grade 2, they're 0.2 of a mile, and then we would transport. For grades 3 to 6, they have to live 3/4 of a mile for us to transport. And then grades 7 through 12 is 1 mile. And I think the difficulty here is between up to grade 2 and grades 3 to 6. You have students that are in a particular school, and their siblings don't get to ride with them anymore once they hit 3rd grade. So we want to resolve that issue and that dilemma for parents. So you'll see a separate proposition on the back of the other proposition that is specific for changing the mileage. And I have to say, Mr. Popkin was great in looking at the routes, because the cost of that is only $105,000. So what we're looking to do is transport all kindergarten students. All students in grade 1 through 5 will be transported if they're within a half a mile of the school, or more than a half a mile from the school, and grades 6 through 12 is 1 mile. So the summary of our support service budget, we're going up 11.7%, or $8.6 million. Again, you'll notice the salary goes up a little over $1 million, and that's due to contractual salary obligations and the new positions that I mentioned. You'll notice contractual jumps up by 4.3, and the majority of that is the increases in facilities and operations that we're looking to do. When we talk about benefits, that is the district as an overall 2.5. That's not only the non-instructional component of the budget, but that's all of our teachers as well. Okay, we're getting there. All right, Dr. Chase, you click this. I'm not having much luck with it. On the side. You do. So our summary of our revenues, again, as we mentioned before, our budget-to-budget increase is 12.3%. You'll notice top on the line is a $2 million tax reduction to the community, which is a 2.5% reduction. Again, you'll see the state aid increasing $24.5 million, or 32.6%. Our pilots increased $458,000, or 12.6%. And miscellaneous revenues are increasing $238,000, or 16%. You'll see that our appropriated reserves are decreasing by just under 11%. Summary of our expenses, again, this is the budget overall. General support increases by 19.7%, or $3.2 million. And again, that is, the majority of that is related to facilities. We have our instruction that we mentioned earlier of just under 13 million, or 12.8%. Pupil transportation is increasing by 2.6%, or 24%. What the district did do is we went out for an RFP for transportation services. So if approved, we'll be also approving the first year of a 5-year agreement with First Student at an estimated cost of $70.6 million over 5 years. But that's encompassing transporting all of our students to all of our events and just to and from school, any kind of athletic events. You'll notice our employee benefits goes up 2.5, as we mentioned earlier. Your debt service is decreasing by $221,000, and that's due to the fluctuation in payments and how the debt schedule plays out. And then your interfund transfer increases by $375,000, or 11.3%.
So what are our next steps? What are our next steps? Well, if the board accepts our proposal after draft 4, the board will vote to adopt the budget this evening. We will have our budget hearing. It is set for May 2nd, 2023, and the budget vote, as you know, will have Proposition 1 and 2, will be May 16th, 2003. We continue to accept your questions, so once the board votes on the budget as an adopted budget, it doesn't mean that the questions will stop. There may be questions that you may have. There may be some clarification you need. And so we're still open to your questions. Please use this email address, budget@westburyschools.org, and we're happy to answer your questions. All right. We thank you all for your attention. We will entertain, well, I'll pass it on to the board vice president. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Chase and Ms. O'Neill. Again, I want to reiterate that this is, as been said before at previous meetings, this is, again, one of the aggressive budgets that we've ever made. We made promises several years ago that we would do our best to alleviate some of the tax burden on our constituents. And again, as we said, the slogan is promises made, promises kept. We are, although 4 of us are here today voting on the adopted budget, all 7 of us worked very hard to get to this point with the administration. We are very proud of this budget. We're very proud that we are able to keep our promises. We are very proud of the way we work together as a board in order to make this budget come together. Although we have not adopted it yet, I do anticipate as we vote today, we will adopt the budget. So I just welcome any questions at this time regarding the budget. Anyone from the audience and or from the live stream.
Chester McGibbon, 502 Alicia Drive. I just have one question about monies or revenues that we derive from lease agreements or rentals. Where would that be reflected in the budget? I'm thinking more specifically of the monies that we got from the Center Point Church lease agreement, since that was such a high-profile issue last year.
Ms. O'Neill?
The revenue would be located in a revenue called rental of real property for individuals, and it's code A2410.
Is it line itemized?
Yes, it is.
And that is where would that be?
A2410 in the revenue code. A2410.
And I guess you'll get to this, but
But I know that there is a contingency budget to this, right? If the budget fails, we go to contingency. And some of us know some of the things that will not be available if we go contingency. But could you just itemize quickly what are some of the things that we will not be fortunate to have if we go contingency?
Ms. O'Neill, could you answer that question as well?
So I don't echo. Absolutely. The district will first have to charge for all use of facilities. Right now, we do have some groups that we don't charge for, so we either would not be able to allow them to use the facilities, or they would have to pay the full cost of the use of facilities. We would not be able to do capital improvements. We would not be able to purchase certain facilities equipment. And there would also be certain student supplies that we would not be able to purchase. Those are the major ones, yes. You're welcome.
Thank you, Ms. McGivens. Please approach the mic at the dais.
Thank you. I feel like I'm a board member today. Good evening, Mateo Flores, 21 Rushmore. Just a point of clarification, what the 12.3 translates to a homeowner?
Are you asking what does the 12.3,
Translates to, in cost-wise, yearly basis for a homeowner.
for a homeowner? So it would be an average, because every home is a different value. So, Ms. O'Neill, are you able to answer that?
I don't have those numbers right with me, but what I would recommend is what you could do is take your current tax bill, and assuming everything else remained the same, you could expect to see a tax reduction. You would see a reduction in your tax rates, providing that, all the other numbers remain the same, that your assessment hasn't changed. You're welcome.
Ms. O'Neill, I do have a question. Mr. Flores' question might be a question that many homeowners may want to know. What will that reduction look like? Are we able to put a calculator on our website under the budget section so that people can go onto the website and calculate an approximation of what that tax reduction might look like?
Sure, I can work with technology to do that.
What do you think, Board?
I think that would be a wise decision, so that everyone could see how much the reduction would be in their own specific homes. Now, this is from the school standpoint only. It won't affect your village or town or county taxes. That assessment can go up.
And you need to know. Absolutely. Absolutely is educational for the community. So once we do that, I know we can, I think Mr. Alert can.
I've worked with him before, and we've done something like that.
That's why I said what I said, right? So I'm going to make sure when I say it that we can deliver on that promise.
I believe we can do it.
I believe he can actually put that calculator on our website. What we'll do is we'll send an alert out to the community to calculate your deduction, and I think that will be really helpful to educate the community so they could, yeah.
Again, I just want to reiterate that this will be only for the school taxes. And it we'll have to put in in bold caption that it will be only for the school taxes. Does not affect village, town, or county taxes that are assessed to.
Right. May I?
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Just an addition. I think to add that statement about this being school only is important. I know that I had people last year when they received the 2.5 said, but my taxes went up. Yeah, but not your school taxes. Right. So we need, yes, it is.
Thank you, Mr. Mateo. Are there any questions in the chat?
No, sir, there are no questions, and there are 15 people currently watching.
Okay. Being there are no questions in the chat and no further questions in the audience, we will proceed with the voting portion of this meeting. I'm going to ask for a motion to block vote items 7A, 7B, and 9A. Could I have a motion to block vote those items?
So moved.
Moved by
Second.
Dr. Dickerson,
Second.
seconded by Ms. Bowling. All in favor?
Dickerson,
Dickerson?
yes.
Bowling?
Yes.
Wilson?
Yes.
Ewing? Yes. Motion passes unanimously. At this time, could I have a motion to approve resolution items 7A, 7B, and 9A?
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Dr. Dickerson. Second by Trustee Bowling. All in favor? Dr. Dickerson?
Aye.
Ms. Bowling?
Aye.
Ms. Wilson?
Aye.
And I vote yes. Motion passes unanimously. At this time, are there any other questions anyone has regarding the district in the audience or via the website? Yes.
On behalf of the administration, I just want to thank the board for trusting us in working with you in devising what we believe is one of the most aggressive budgets. It considers all parties who are involved in our school community. And so, again, I just want to thank the board for their full support of the 2023-24 budget.
I just want to reiterate to the public again, we believe, all seven of us believe in this budget wholeheartedly. Although several of our members are unable to attend tonight, does not mean that they do not support the board. They support the board the budget and the budget vote 100%. So I just want to reflect that so that no one thinks that anybody did not show up because they did not want to participate or were not for the budget. Every single one of us, all seven of us, have worked hard on this budget to be able to produce the results that they have now. So I just want to make that very, very clear. So with that being said, could I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Moved by Ms. Bowling,
Second.
second by Dr. Dickerson. All in favor, Dr. Dickerson,
Aye.
Ms. Bowling,
Aye.
Ms. Wilson,
Aye.
and I vote. Meeting adjourned. Have a
Thank
great
you.
night. Hope to see you on May 2nd.
And thank you, Ms. O'Neill. This is your last budget of your career. Congratulations for a job well done. I don't think she can see us.
Oh, she said no. All I see is the emblem.
Oh.